Hello, everyone. Can y'all hear me out there? I don't know why I just adopted that southern accent, but can you guys hear me? Looks like audio's coming through on my end, so that is good, but want to make sure that you guys can hear me too. Hey, Kelsey, how's it going? David says yes. Okay, awesome. Thanks, David. Going to click a few things here. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining the Configura live stream. I am Kelsey DeBruin, and we are here to talk about some really exciting stuff today. CET Designer 10.0 is coming out here in just a few weeks, so I want to give you guys a sneak peek, some VIP access to what is going to happen here in 10.0. And hopefully you guys will be excited about all these new 10.0 features. We're not going to cover everything in this live stream, and we have another one next week as well. It's like a little mini micro series. We're not going to cover everything that's new to 10.0, but we'll cover some of the cool fun stuff. So hopefully you guys will be excited about it. You'll be ready for the update and ready for the launch. And let's just get into it. So I have my phone over here with your comments. Morning, David. Yes, you can hear me, Laura. Hey, Laura. Morning, Angela, and morning, Tanya, and hello, Miranda. Thanks, everyone, for joining out there. Morning, Kate. Hey, Johan. Morning, Melissa, and good morning, Janice. And if you're in a different time zone, then good afternoon, good evening, whatever it may be. Thank you for joining out there. So let's get right into it. We are here today to talk about 10.0. I'm pretty excited for it. There's a few cool things in here. I'm excited for this one because there's a few updates, a lot of fixes. Hopefully it will be nothing crazy, massive. Whoa, what's going on? It's just a few nice touches. So I'm excited about these new updates. Hopefully you guys are too. Of course, use that comment field to let us know your thoughts. I want to know what you guys think about these new features too. So let us know your thoughts there in the comment section. Let's get into it here. There's no secret here. Of course, there's a giveaway for this little micro series. So again, we have the live stream we're on right now. We're going to have one next week as well, just more 10.0 features. For this little micro series, I'm kind of treating this as like the tips and tricks kind of webinar. So that means that your giveaway is going to be an Amazon gift card. And there's going to be one lucky winner of this Amazon gift card each week. The way that you can win this gift card, Lynn, if you're out there, everybody has to compete against Lynn because she is the resident live stream winner. So good luck to everyone out there. But what you have to do to get in the running for this Amazon gift card would be throw up a heart or give a heart or show some love anytime you see a feature that you are super, super excited about. So at some point during the live stream, make sure you throw up one of those hearts. At the end, I already see some hearts coming through, so some people are already entered in. At the end of the live stream, we are going to do a random number generator based on the amount of hearts that we have. And whoever the lucky winner is, whoever came in order based on when they threw up their heart, that's going to be the winner of the Amazon gift card. Now, this is a micro series, so of course there's going to be a grand prize that goes to one lucky winner of the entire little micro series here. We have 2 sessions. The bonus grand prize is going to be a free 1-hour webinar with yours truly, myself. That's the grand prize that we gave away for the last time we did this little micro series when CET Designer 9.5 came out. And of course, Lynn Oliver Dunn won that. No surprise there. And we actually finally have that on the schedule. So that webinar can be a topic of your choosing, whether you want to learn or just have some refresher on what's new in CET Designer 10.0, or there's just stuff you want to learn more about. It can be a topic of your choosing. But the way that you can win that bonus grand prize is going to be based off of your comments. So if you are watching this live stream, make sure you comment. If you watch next week too, comment there as well. If you've watched both and you've commented on both, that's what's going to get you into the drawing for the bonus grand prize, which is the 1-hour webinar with moi. So if you think that would be something valuable, then make sure you comment on this live stream. Make sure you also tune in for next week's live stream and comment there, and that gets you into the running for the grand prize. But of course, for the Amazon gift card today, all you got to do is throw up that heart, and you will be entered into the running. That's the giveaway stuff. Holy cow. There's giveaways and bonus prizes and all that. So let's just get right into 10.0 because that is what we're here for. Couple things before I show you some new features, and I just want to make sure I got to all the comments here. Good morning. I'm totally going to pronounce this name wrong. Cernan? Morning, Cernan. Thanks for joining. And hey, Amy, thanks for watching out there. Okay, so before we get into actual 10.0 features, because of course I have CET Designer pulled up and I'm going to show you a few things there, I want to just point out a couple things, a couple tools, and a bit of information that goes along with 10.0, just so that we are all prepared when the time comes to update. So as it has been in the past, you might not see the update happen right away for you the Monday that it releases, May 20th. You might not see that update right away, and that could be for a couple reasons. So staggered release is something that we do so that not everybody gets the update immediately, because in the event that there's an issue or a bug that we have to fix, we can do that quickly, and it's not everybody that's affected by it. So there is a staggered release. If everyone in your dealership or your company has the release and you do not, that would be a good time to contact support, because typically when we do stagger the release, everybody in the same dealership should get at the same time. Now, another thing that could stop you from updating is based on the extensions that you have downloaded. So there is a 2-week window for those extensions to be updated. And once that 2-week window hits, hopefully everybody will have the update at that point. But manufacturers have that 2-week window to get their update ready. And if you have extensions that aren't up to 10.0 yet, that would block you from the update as well. So two things could block the update for you. That staggered release, just to make sure that everything is running smoothly for everyone. We release in bits and pieces. And then the second thing could be based on the extensions that you have. So again, if you're pretty certain that all of your extensions should be up to date, everyone else in your dealership has 10.0 as well, that'd be a fabulous time to contact support to be like, hey, what's going on? Why don't I have the update? Now, of course, there's going to be 10.0 release notes as well. I have a draft copy here. You guys don't have access to these quite yet because, of course, 10.0 hasn't released yet. But there will be release notes that everybody can view. You'll actually be able to download the release notes right from CET Designer this time, or at least from what I've seen so far, which is great. But of course, you can also go out to our support page to get those release notes and maybe a few other locations. So there will be the release notes for you so you can see everything that's updated. And of course, we'll have webinars like crazy on the schedule, those free webinars during the week of release. So that will be another resource for you guys, just so you know everything that's going on with 10.0. So first, I just want to show you quickly where you can register for those webinars, and then we will look at some of the new features in 10.0. So let me get that page pulled up. Let me change my view. My video is going to go away, but hopefully y'all can still hear me out there. Really quick side note, if you guys go out to the Academy, you notice this lovely yellow ribbon at the top of the Academy now. You do have to be scrolled way up to the tippy top of the Academy. The second you start scrolling through, that ribbon goes away. But as this little note shows, we are making some exciting new changes to our CET Designer course offerings. Click here to learn more. that will download a fun little document for you so you can see the changes that we're making to our CET Designer trainings. That's a side note. If you want to check that out, definitely do that. But we are here to talk about CET Designer 10.0. So if you want to sign up for one of those What's New in CET Designer webinars, which I would recommend that you do. It's free. It's an hour. It's going to give you all the info you need to know about 10.0. So I would register for one. But you just go out to our academy in the free webinar section. Look at all those babies. Tons of What's New in CET Designer 10.0 webinars. German, Swedish, Spanish, English. I think that's it for the languages that we offer them in, but lots of choices for different times as well. You just simply hit the register button and the information will then be provided for you after you register. Now, if you cannot register for any of these times listed here, I will be recording my first webinar right here, and I will be posting that to the CET Designer briefcase. So again, just in case for some reason your schedule is jam-packed and you cannot attend any of these What's New in CET Designer 10.0 webinars, I will be recording this very first one, and it will be posted to the CET Designer briefcase. Okay. Let's get into the new features of CET Designer 10.0. Now, notice that I am rocking the RC here. So this is a release candidate. This is not the official released version. I want to point that out because there is the potential for things to still change a little bit. The things that I'm going to show you here are ones that are pretty solid at this point as far as features go. But again, this is an RC. So if things are a little bit funky or if it looks a little bit different on your end when you do actually get to that update, just know that's why. Okay, so what is new? First thing I want to show you guys right off the bat, and you probably noticed this right off the bat, especially if you're a longtime CET Designer user. You will notice that our 2D and 3D toolbars have changed a little bit visually. So they've updated and changed a little bit visually just so that their appearance is looking a little bit more modern, because we're always working to make this look like, a better user interface, of course. But also what I like about this, and let me just X off of this here. Also, what I like about the new 2D and 3D toolbars is if you were to, for some reason, start to shrink your CET Designer view, notice that the toolbars are adjusting themselves. So instead of just losing tools as you're shrinking down your view, instead of them just going off the screen, they're automatically adjusting and resizing themselves. And that could be if you go like way down here. I don't know why you would ever work with CET Designer this small, but you'll see that those 2D and 3D toolbars will automatically adjust themselves. So this is something that you'll notice in 10.0 for sure. The look of these toolbars has changed a little bit, and they will automatically resize themselves as you change the window size of CET Designer. Another new feature that I think is pretty darn cool is this new guy here in your 3D toolbar. So this is a brand new tool in your 3D toolbar. It's Follow the 2D View. This guy is going to be a toggle. You'll either be using it or not, and the image itself, the icon itself, is going to update based on whether you are following the 2D view or not. So when the image looks like this, where it looks like kind of a broken link, that means that you are not following the 2D view. Now when you click it, notice how that icon changes to kind of looking like a link. That means that you are using this functionality. And what that means is your 3D drawing view is automatically going to follow your 2D drawing view as you start moving around. So let's give this a try here. I'm going to start moving around in my 2D view, and the 3D view should automatically follow me. Ta-da! That's pretty darn cool. Let's see, and it even recognizes your zooming. So that's kind of cool as well. A couple things that I would point out here. So you'll notice that my 2D drawing view and my 3D drawing view are matching, where the chair is kind of on this front side of the table. When I do orbit this 3D view, notice I'm orbiting the 3D view now so that the chair's on the other side. It's not actually moving the chair, I just orbited the view. Notice that it's not going to like automatically rotate objects around for me. So do keep that in mind, that the orbit, of course, is only a function in the 3D drawing view. So what I would recommend is you make sure that if you are going to use this follow the 3D view icon, which I think it would be great for presenting your drawing to clients or walking your clients through a space, or exactly like you say there, art, no more hunting for lost 3Ds. That could definitely be a way to use it. I would make sure that your 3D view is matching the correct angle as the 2D. Again, if you're doing something like this where your 3D view is set up this way, but your 2D is set up this way, that could potentially be a bit confusing. So just make sure that that 3D view is orbited properly, and then as you start moving around in 2D, your 3D will follow. Again, it's just as simple as clicking this basically start and stop link icon here. So really pay attention to the look of that icon, because that changes for you visually as well, which is great. Okay, looks like we have some likes and some loves on that one, which is awesome. I was excited about that one too. Couple more things that I do want to point out in the 2D and 3D toolbars. This is actually not necessarily function that has changed or hasn't been available in the past, but the look of these icons has modified a little bit. One of them is this disable snapping icon. So if you guys remember, there used to be like a little snap checkbox somewhere in this area of your 2D toolbar, and sometimes it actually depended on your work mode and whether you had that visible in your work mode or not. This is now the icon here, disable snapping, and you'll see that it's available in the 2D and the 3D view. When you click it visually, that little icon changes a little bit as well to make it look kind of like a disjointed little icon. And when it looks like this, where it's kind of disjointed, you'll see the 2D and the 3D toolbar follow that same click. Either when you click it in, they're both going to follow each other. When it's disjointed like this, that means you are not snapping. So even if objects typically would snap together, you're basically overriding that snap and objects won't snap. And you should be able to click that even when you have an object on the end of your cursor. So let's actually give that a try here. Let me place a few panels. Now let's say for some reason I don't want this panel to snap, and for quite a few of them I don't want them snapping. I can come up here and click the no longer snapping icon, and then you'll see my snapping is gone. And then I could just place a bunch of stuff with no snapping capabilities whatsoever, come turn that back on, and you'll see it turns itself on pretty immediately. Now, of course, there's the keyboard shortcut, which is hold down Shift. Holding down Shift also overrides snapping, but sometimes, again, if there's a pile of objects that you don't want to snap, it might actually be easier to just disable snapping up here, and then you can work with snapping disabled without having to hold down Shift. And of course, when you want to re-enable it or enable snapping, just come click that icon again. Now, a big thing that I want to point out, and this one took me a second here, notice your group and single select icon way at the end here of the 2D view and close to the end of the 3D drawing toolbar. This is a toggle tool, and it always has been, where you're either using single select mode or group select mode. But in the past, it was two separate icons right around here in your 2D and 3D toolbar. It was two separate icons. So you'd either click single, or you'd click group, or you just hit S to toggle between the two. Now it's actually merged into one icon here, and you just click it for single or group, and it automatically swaps itself for single or group. And of course, that keyboard shortcut still works. S, just hit S to toggle between single and group select mode. But that one's just an FYI. Again, functionality has not changed there at all. It's just the placement of the tool has changed. And now instead of having two separate icons, one for single and one for group, you have one icon here, and it's still just a simple toggle between your single and your group. Art, and here I thought, oh, my accidental snapping was my novice skill level. No, I'm sure it wasn't. Okay, so that's a couple new things with the toolbars. Hopefully some exciting things there for everyone. Let's get rid of that smattering of panels there and talk about what else is new. So another, and this isn't necessarily new, this is more some updated functionality. And if you haven't been paying attention prior to this, make sure you're paying attention now, because this is some updated functionality and you will want to make sure you have a very good grasp of how this is working. So in the past, CET Designer 9.5, we introduced tabs that can collapse. So you can collapse your component tab. And the way that we would collapse the component tab would be we would double click on the top component tab within that group and they would collapse together and we'd see that little black arrow showing that they're collapsed. Collapsing tabs is still an option, but visually it looks a little bit different now, and actually the way that you collapse tabs is a bit different now too. So if you want to collapse tabs now, it's not going to be a double click on the component tab anymore. The reason that changed is because it was very easy to accidentally collapse component tabs just by simply double clicking on one, and then they were collapsed, and then we thought our component tabs were missing even though they weren't. They were still there, but visually it was hard to tell. So the double click is not going to collapse and expand component tabs anymore. And if you have gotten used to that, it is going to take you a second to get used to the new way of doing it. I know I'm working through that as well. But the new way to collapse component tabs now, or the way that I like, because it's more intentional, where you're not accidentally collapsing things. You'll see you have an arrow that's going to show up next to each of your component tabs here. And actually, as you move through your component tabs, you'll see portions of them start to highlight in that light blue color. When you start moving through your component tabs, the portions that all highlight in that light blue color means that that grouping is what's going to collapse together. So you'll see when I'm hovered near the top here, FICA Office, FICA, Commercial Stairs, Industrial Stairs, and Structural, they're all highlighted in blue. And that means that when I collapse, these 5 are going to collapse together. Then when I move to the next grouping, there's the chunk that are kind of in that light blue color. Those are the ones that will collapse together, and so on. So just visually, if you want to know which ones are going to collapse together in a group, that's how you can tell. Now you'll see next to each component tab that you actually hover over, a little arrow appears. When you click that arrow, the grouping of tabs that are highlighted there will collapse underneath that specific one. So if I want this chunk of 5 component tabs here to collapse underneath this FICA extension with the coffee cup, what I can do is just click that little arrow, and now you'll see they've all collapsed under FICA. Let's look at that again. So this next section, maybe I want this next section to collapse under 3D. So I'm going to click the little arrow next to 3D, and you'll see they all collapse under that one. Now, how do we tell that we have collapsed tabs? You'll see that that little black arrow is not showing up anymore. Visually, what we're looking for now is this darker gray line that shows on the edge of those component tabs that I've collapsed. So you'll see I collapsed this FICA grouping, and now there's that dark gray line next to it. And then I collapsed the 3D ones, and there's that dark gray line next to it. Let me collapse a grouping down here. So let's say I want this grouping to collapse under SketchUp. So I'm going to click that little arrow next to SketchUp. Now you'll see that dark gray line has appeared next to that SketchUp component tab. So that's what you're visually looking for now to know that you have collapsed component tabs. And then when you want to expand them, it's as simple as clicking that little arrow again to expand. And it will only expand that one grouping. Now here is a very interesting thing that has been added, and I want to point this out to you guys just in case this happens to you, whether you did it intentionally or accidentally. I want to point it out just so you know how you can reverse the effects, or you know how to work through it. So there is now an option where if you want to collapse all of your tabs, and by collapse all the tabs, I mean within each of the individual groupings, you want everything to collapse under those individual groupings. You can actually do a right-click swipe motion to collapse all of them, and then a right-click swipe motion to expand all of them. So if you right-click and swipe up with your cursor, that's going to collapse them. So let's look at that now. So I'm going to hover over my list of component tabs, and I'm going to right-click and swipe up. See how they've all now collapsed within the different groupings that they could be? Now, if I want to re-expand them, it's as simple as right-click and swipe down. So you're actually right-clicking and then you're doing kind of a mouse movement or a kind of a swipe or, that kind of effect to collapse and expand. So again, right-click, swipe up will collapse. Right-click, swipe down will expand. If you don't like that swipe movement, you can actually just right-click and do the collapse all or expand all. I kind of like the swipe. It makes it a little bit quicker. Swipe up, swipe down, or again, do an actual right-click, collapse all, expand all. The reason I want to point that out is because I can see the potential for the accidental right-click, swipe up, and then just visually know that you've collapsed your tabs. So just do the right-click and swipe down, and then they're all back. Okay? Melissa, collapsing tabs makes me so happy. Yay! Christina, glad this feature will be updated. Making it intentional would be so much nicer. I totally agree. Kate, I love collapse. Oh, yay. Love collapsing tabs. Tanya, David, nice. Okay. Glad we are all on board with that one. Again, if you're used to the double click to collapse and expand, it's pretty easy to get the hang of the arrows now or the right click swiping for collapsing everything or expanding everything. All right. One more thing I want to point out for this live stream is Polar Replicate. Polar Replicate has been something that we've had for a while now. I'm working in a custom component tab configuration here, so my replicate tools are showing at the top. If you want to know more about component tab configurations, just let me know. We can talk about that at a later live stream or a webinar or something like that. But of course, component tab configurations make it so that you can completely customize these areas. Anyways, Polar Replicate. This has been a tool that we've had for a few releases now. 9.5, the functionality changed a little bit, and what's happening in 10.0 is it's reverting back to the way that it originally functioned because we all said, hey, the way that it was originally working was great, let's change it back, and so we have. Yay! So, now your Polar Replicate works the way that it originally did when it was first released, and I will show you that just in case you're not familiar with this Polar Replicate tool to begin with. So your Replicate tools are on the Tools tab. There's a Replicate tool section, probably going to show at the bottom for you, but I have customized mine to show at the top. Polar Replicate, it's just as simple as grabbing that tool. You are going to choose the item that you want to replicate. So you guys know Polar Replicate, that is replicating around a circle. And typically how we use it is we're replicating a chair around a circular table. That's the most common way to use it. So you grab the tool and you're first going to choose the object that you want to replicate around, which would be your chair. Then you're going to choose the point that you want to replicate around, which is probably going to be the center of your circular object. And now as you start dragging your cursor out, you'll see that replication starts for you. And you'll see it actually, the farther you drag, it actually is automatically updating your quantity for you. Of course, you can manually type the quantity you want, but if for some reason when I was dragged out to this point, if 3 was the amount of chairs that I wanted, then I could simply place a left click here to end the tool at these 3 chairs. Now let's say though instead I actually want 5 chairs replicating around this circle. So what I'm going to do is pay attention to my green properties box. I'm going to type the quantity that I want in that green properties box. So I'm going to type 5. And now I'll get 5 chairs replicating around here. And you'll see it's 5 new chairs. Notice that there's 5 of those blue colored chairs, which would be like the new chairs that I'm replicating. So the original chair that you selected, this guy here, that original chair does not count in the quantity. So if I just want 5 chairs total, what I want to make sure that I do is tab all the way down here to the bottom of the green properties box and make sure you uncheck keep original. If you check keep original, then that means that this original chair you selected will stay in the drawing. And that means I'm going to have a total of 6 chairs because it will be the 5 that I'm adding and this original one. I don't want that original chair though, so I'm going to uncheck keep original. If you do notice that your chairs are not rotating inwards towards the table, all you simply have to do is choose rotate inward in the green properties box. And then when you drag your cursor back and forth to find out where you want those chairs to go, once you find that location, just simply left click and your chair has now been evenly replicated around that circle based on the quantity that you've chosen. A quick free tip here, if your chair is now automatically connected to the table, select everything, hit G to group, and now we have one nice, neat little package of tables and chairs. All right, so new with 10.0, not necessarily the polar replicate tool, but the functionality has reverted back to how it originally was when the tool was released, and hopefully we will all be very happy with that. Okay, that is the features, or those are the features that I have for you new with 10.0 for this live stream. Of course, we have another live stream next week with more 10.0 features, but I hope you liked that initial sneak peek there, and there's some fun things in there that you will be happy about in 10.0. I know there's some things that I'm already excited about, and we've only talked about a few of the new features here. All right, so now is the time for the Amazon gift card giveaway. I have seen tons of hearts coming through, which is great. If you have not thrown your heart up there yet, make sure you do that now because this is your last chance. Remember the bonus grand prize, we're going to do that one next week. So the drawing that we're doing today is just going to be for the Amazon gift card. I need to remember how I get to the amount of hearts that I have so I can do my random number generator. So I'm seeing a lot of hearts come through here, which is great. Keep them coming. I will cut you guys off here in just a second while I try to figure out how I can see the amount of hearts that I have. And I figured this out last time. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that I can figure it out today. I am going to go here, and then I'm going to go keep them coming. I will cut you. Let's see if I can see it. Yes, I can see them. Yay. Okay. Yay. All right. So you have like 2 seconds left to get your hearts in. I am going to cut it off right now. Okay, we have 21 hearts. So 21 hearts means that that is the number going in the random number generator. So let me switch my views here so you guys can see the random number generator. Minimize that. Switch here. Okay, you guys can see it. There's my random number generator. The max amount is going to be 21 because that is the amount of hearts that we have coming through here. So max is 21. Let's hit generate. Good luck, everyone. 17. Okay, that's a big number. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is come back to my list of hearts. You guys aren't going to see the list of hearts because I want to keep this private if you guys don't want to know or whatever. So number 17 in my list of when the hearts were thrown up is going to be the winner. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. The winner is Katie Parker. Congratulations, Katie Parker. You have won the Amazon gift card for the first part of the 10.0 sneak peek live stream. So congrats, Katie. Katie, if I do not already have your mailing address, please do a private message to the CET Designer Facebook page with your mailing address so I can send this lovely guy off to you. So congratulations, Katie. You have won the Amazon gift card. Okay. Want to make sure you guys can still see me out here. Yes, you can. Let's switch here to our upcoming dates because that is going to wrap up our live stream for the day. Of course, we have more upcoming dates, especially this way. I never get that right. This way, May 16th, that's next Thursday. That's our second part to this micro series where we will talk about more 10.0 features. We'll do another giveaway. We'll do the grand prize giveaway. So that's going to end it for the day, wrap up for the day. Again, let us know your thoughts on 10.0, the features you liked, maybe things you're like, what's going on here? Let us know, add them to the comments. And I hope you guys just have a fabulous rest of your day, and we'll talk to y'all next week. Bye.